Hey guys, welcome to Outskirts Overland. This is Charlie. Today is my dad's birthday, so I don't know what national day it is in my life. It's dad's birthday, so that's what's going on. So if you guys, comment below or whatever, say happy birthday to my dad. Uh, and it's raining here in Missouri right now, but today I'm going to talk about, and I don't know how much this is a curiosity of anybody, but I'm getting, if you guys listen, I'm beating a dead horse here, but as content is, some of you guys hop around. So I'm getting air lockers put on my truck, front and rear right now, literally as we speak, and it's getting re-geared. And my friend group said, some of them thought air lockers were real good. Some of them thought e-lockers were the better way to go. They thought there was something to that, and they were like, what even like?" Obviously, the difference is one is air and one is electric, but they were like, "What makes them different?" So, and they were like, "You should talk about that." So, I'll cover it. So, air lockers versus e lockers. E lockers typically going to be your stock locker. Okay, so on your Toyota, your Jeep Rubicon, your Land Cruisers, those are all going to be electronic lockers. They're going to have a switch. The way they work is magnets lock the diff. Okay, it's electronically. It's got a solenoid. You press a switch. Okay, and it's going to excuse me, and it's going to lock that locker. You can get you can buy vehicles factory. There's many vehicles factory that have front lockers. Jeep Rubicon, Ranger Raptor, Canyon. What is it? Canyon. Is it the AT4? Colorado, CR2. They all have front and rear lockers. All of them. The uh, the Toyotas, excuse me, the Trail Hunter, the TRD Off Road, the Forerunner TRD Off Road, those have only rear lockers, and they're e lockers too. Now they all said, "Well, then why are you getting air lockers?" Well, I don't. There is no solution for me to get an e locker in the front. My truck is an SR5, so it's open right now. So air lockers work, and I already have a ARB twin compressor and the harness for which to put lockers in. So that's why I'm getting air lockers. Now air lockers versus being magnets, and they take a minute. The magnet's got to line up, and it pushes that over to lock the diff so that both wheels spin at the same time. So versus that, when it's an air locker, it's pressure. So you turn the compressor on. Okay, pressure's on. Then you press the front locker. That lets the compressor know you want air going through that line to that locker, and it clinches it. Air lockers are almost immediate, so they have a much faster engagement, which led to everybody. They're like, "Oh, that's better," and I'm like, "I mean, it's it's kind of the same. Like I'm not gonna. I don't plan to be in a scenario where locker engagement's gonna be like that big of a deal. I'm not wheeling like rock crawling. So the faster engagement is whatever. But what you got to take into account is with the what you have to take into account is with the air lockers, you've now got more lines, more seals. You have a compressor. Like there's way more parts involved than a solenoid, a switch, and the mechanism in the differential. So it's potential that a line gets a hole, a seal gets dry rotted. Like there's just more stuff to make sure you're on top of with an air locker than an e-locker. It's just wires. And you can insulate those and keep those pretty safe, tuck them up. They're pretty flexible. The air locker is going to have an airline. You got to drill a hole in for the airline in both front and rear diff in my case. So you got to drill a hole in, where if you've got a e-locker, I mean, there's a hole there too for the solenoid and where it clips, the wires clip in. But so I mean, but again, typically factory. E-lockers are typically factory. E-lockers fail, air lockers fail. I don't think there's a one better than the other in for overlanding. If you're using a locker, I mean, you're not worried so much about quick engagement. I I I don't think so anyways. I'll have air lockers and that'll be cool and all, but like That's just because that's what I could get. You know, that's what I could get that matched. And being as OCD as I am, an air locker in the front and E locker in the rear would just like drive me freaking crazy. So that's where I'm at with that. Toyota has nothing factory with a front locker at all. Excuse me, guys. Has nothing at all with a front locker. So that'll be unique, you know, anybody like myself that just has it done. Um, so that's the difference between air lockers and e-lockers. There's pros and cons to both for sure. Um, there's something to be said if you're the person that wants to have a rig, get in it and go, and if something breaks, you don't want it to be your problem. You know, factory lockers, you know, your most vehicles don't come with a factory compressor and those things to be air lockers. And factory, you know, quite frankly, the manufacturers don't do it because it's kind of set it and forget it with an e-locker. It's kind of, you know, it's done. And but what I'm getting to is if you're somebody that isn't interested in tinkering, warranties associated with factory lockers. Okay, like if you're somebody that wants front and rear lockers, well then you need to look at a vehicle that has them. Jeep Rubicon has them. Ranger Raptor has them. ZR2 Colorado AT4X Canyon. Period. That's what has lockers. That's the way it is. Jeep's Willys now has rear locker, doesn't have front locker, but Z locker too. Most stuff on Jeep is electronic. Sway bar disconnect, the whole nine. The one benefit that I will say, one benefit, complete benefit of me having air lockers, and this could be a benefit, good or a bad. I can engage them whenever. I can engage my rear locker in two-wheel drive. I can engage my, you know, in four high or four low. A lot of these factory vehicles, they don't let you put a locker, like turn a locker on until you're in four low. So I will say that is hugely nice that I could, for instance, when the weather's crappy and I just want, or even I'm out in a field, like I can just lock the rear in two-wheel drive to get it going. I mean, I guess if you want to, I mean, I could probably, I mean, that would allow me to like drift it too, and that's not my jam. But like, I can lock the rear no matter what. There's no hindrance to locking it. But also, the front could get locked when the truck's not even in four-wheel drive, and that could be bad news bears. So just because if you press it, it's doing it. It's a more manual procedure. It has no fail safes to you screw something up. So that's a good thing. So I mean, there are things to think about. The e-lockers are something that's available with other vehicles and different applications. It wasn't something I could get in a front and a rear. Period. It's the only reason I'm going with there. So they all asked because I do think things out pretty well a lot, and not in a way of being like an elitist or superior, but they're like, you just really think stuff out. So like, why'd you go with those? And this is just one of those scenarios where it's just that's what there was. I mean, you have one option and that's it. So, and lucky for me, I already have an ARB dual that could support that, and the wiring harness that could support that. You know, like luckily, but that's another huge expense. I mean, lockers aren't air lockers anyways. They're not cheap. So if you get a vehicle, if you're somebody that wants lockers, I would almost always recommend, if you're not very mechanical or don't want to be mechanical, don't want to be messing with it, even if you are mechanical, buy a vehicle that has a locker or both lockers. Even though those vehicles are more expensive, getting my gears and lockers done is about $6,000. And I have the wiring harness already and the compressor mounted. And that's another, I don't know, the ARB twin was, I don't know, $600. The mount was 150. The harness was another 100. Like I'm looking at, I don't know, another $1,000, $7,000. So when you're looking at a vehicle and it's 10 grand more for the off-road versus the sport or the Rubicon versus the Willys or whatever, like that checks out. Like that checks out. Um, period, you know? I mean, now again, I'm putting 529 gears in, which is well, way, 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 way bigger than stock, but which is really the reason I'm getting this done at all is because I wanted gears. But when you're in there, it's easier to do the lockers too. Not easier, it's more cost effective than getting the lockers later. Getting gears now and realizing I want lockers later is real expensive. I mean, it's almost the same price again because you have to go through the exact same processing. So there's that. So they all want to know what the difference was. And really, it's engagement speed, the way in which it's happening. One's pneumatic air, so air pressure clamps it, and one is magnets. So it's a solenoid, it's a signal, and it goes and it clamps. But you'll see sometimes for you guys that have e-lockers, you're gonna know sometimes you gotta wiggle the truck a little bit, maybe go backwards a little bit to get it to engage. Some of them are better than others. Over time, different things happen. But there's not, in my opinion, for overland, there's not a better or worse. I just have availability. Now, I think if you were looking at brands, mine are ARB lockers, and I think that it matters that you get ARB or Eaton or something along those lines, like something that's quality. My gears are nitro gears that I got. Revolution makes a good gear. Yukon makes a good gear, but they're good gears. I'm not. I think that's where things are thought out, like brands, quality, warranties. You know, history, his product history on all kinds of other stuff. That matters to me. And oftentimes it doesn't cost enough more for the headache of doing it twice, three times, four times. So that matters to me a good bit. So that's the difference between air lockers and e-lockers. They were all just asking me about it, and they're like, you should cover it. Because we text. I mean, we don't talk on the phone in a group. So you should cover it because, I mean, they listen. So that's the difference between air lockers and e-lockers. Um, e-lockers are typically your factory ones. So it's not something you have to take on the cost of. Just look at the vehicles. Certain models of vehicles, typically the more off-road high performance vehicles, have them. And they're typically factory. You can add a rear e-locker to a lot of vehicles if you wanted to. Uh, that's also, I mean, that's an option for many vehicles. It's just not the one I went with. I don't see a negative to either, though. I I do tend to think, and I don't have experience with this yet because I don't have my truck and I haven't been using it for a while. But anytime you do anything aftermarket and you're messing with something that's factory, like you're messing with factory stuff and putting aftermarket stuff on, I, I don't care what anybody says, it's less reliable than factory stuff. Factory stuff's more reliable, period. Like, which is why it really matters that you find a good person to install your parts or you're real competent yourself with installing. Because factory stuff's typically tried, tested, stamped with approval, and but also the manufacturer is going to stand behind that quality too. So even if it does break, it's not your problem. It's kind of like a rental, It's like not my problem, not my freaking warranty. And when you start doing aftermarket stuff, that's not the case. So that's just not going to work that way. So that's the difference. Before I hop off today, I am so the group United by Overland is a huge group. I think it's like 40 or 50,000 people that I'm a contributor in. I have been talking about posting pictures of yourself so that we can all associate what we all look like um, versus just our rigs. I posted in that yesterday. I'd encourage everybody to go over there and post pictures of, like what's your fake. More expos coming up. But I mean, even if more expo isn't something you're going to, any expo, again, it's like 50, 60,000 people. Not all of us are from the same, 200-mile radius. So go ahead and post pictures of yourself and your rig and introduce yourself. Um, that's going to help us all out. I think it makes it a little more personal too. It's not like such and such with X car. Like it'll be like, oh, that's, like I'll know what your face looks like. I know what color freaking, I'll know what color you have. Like I'll know what stickers are on your truck. I don't even know what color your hair is. So that's something that I think is a great thing that's going on over there. A couple of us have posted already. I think that's fantastic. Go over there, post some pictures of yourself, whatever you're comfortable with, yourself, your family, your rig. Tell us a little bit about yourself. That helps us all get to know each other a little better, make a stronger community. It makes it more personal versus just this like, look at my truck, look at my Forerunner, look at my Jeep. It makes you a person versus just a vehicle. So go ahead and go over there and do that. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, isn't it? Tomorrow's Friday. That's glorious. That's glorious. Oh man, I'm happy. Tomorrow's Friday. I keep forgetting what date. I know the date because I do this every day, but I keep forgetting what day of the week it is. That's exciting. Sorry, that just hit me right now. That's exciting. All right, guys, I'll catch you tomorrow. Keep leaving reviews. Keep texting the podcast. Message me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. I'm enjoying talking to you guys. I'm enjoying the traction I'm getting with the listeners. That's the whole reason I do this. So if you guys want to know anything about anything I have or ask my opinion about anything, if you think I might have some knowledge on it, go right ahead, man. Those of you that have done that, you'll find that I'm pretty quick to respond. I don't have turn times like customer service. I'll respond pretty quick to you guys. So I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Have a good Thursday.